I just got set up in Korea and I couldn't resist playing around with the Spiritborn. I made this entire infographic so I can show you guys this build that I'm planning on making, and it's insane. Everything that you see on the screen right now is triggered from a single evade. Not only that, but we can evade constantly. Let me walk you through it. I'm going to use this little green symbol so you guys can see where we're going. So first off, we've got our evade. Now if we move to the right, you can see that Scorn of the Earth is giving us the ability for Soar to deal extra damage, and our evade now uses Soar. Moving to the right some more, you can see we've got Soar here, and then we've got Aspect of Turbulence. Soar casts Vortex at its landing location and it deals increased damage. Then we've got our Vortex. Then we have Aspect of Recalling Feathers. Casting a focus skill recalls nearby spirit feathers and deals lightning damage. Both Vortex and Soar are focus skills. Now if we look at our Soar, we're applying vulnerable to enemies before we even hit them, which means that we're going to get that extra damage no matter what. Not to mention our extra damage from our Keystone passive, which I'll talk about later. The next hit is a guaranteed critical strike, and Soar makes us unstoppable for 3 seconds. On top of that, we're pulling the enemies together and doing more damage, and we're doing more damage with our next skill, and our Vortex is doing more damage as long as we have a barrier. Then we have our Thunder Spike. One of the passives on Thunder Spike is when you evade, you attack with Thunder Spike. So now we're using our basic skill when we evade as well. Next up, we've got the weapon that we're going to be using, which is Sepazontic. This makes your basic attacks do more damage, and they always use the third attack. Now let's look at this other passive on our Thunder Spike. Your third attack pierces further, dealing more damage, and reduces your evade cooldown by 5 seconds. And if we look back at our Scorned Earth, you can see that we've got maximum evade charges, and we have attacks reduce evade cooldown. So between all of these, we will never run out of evades. In addition, we've got Aspect of Falling Feathers. When we use our evade, it drops spirit feathers, which deal lightning damage. And then the last one on here is Aspect of Sky Power. Now I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to use this one, but it does synergize really well. So it's a matter of whether or not a multiplier is going to be better than this, but we'll have to see. But basically, it's a lucky hit chance to summon a mystical circle, and then when you evade, it pulls the circles along with you and does more lightning damage. As you can see, this is really crazy. And this also triggers multiple different passives that increase our damage, increase our movement speed, and all kinds of stuff. When the expansion comes out, this is likely the only Spiritborn build that I'm actually going to release and keep updated for you guys, because I still plan on focusing on the Druid mostly. But this one got me too hyped to not let you know about it. I was a pretty big fan of the Monk in D3, and if I'm being honest, Spiritborn basically looks like a Druid and a Monk had a baby. So there's still a lot of time for them to change the Spiritborn, so I'm not going to go in too much detail, but I am going to show you the basics of what I have in mind. So because all of the skills are tied into the dash, we don't actually need many of them on the bar. This allows us to put low point investment skills on the bar to get extra benefit. The Concussive Stomp is going to give us barrier, and we have a nice passive way of tying this into the build in a defensive way. So we actually don't really need to cast this, but if we don't have barrier up, it could be an easy way to get a barrier. I've got Ravager here. This is just going to increase our minimum ferocity, and it's also going to give us an active that will cause our skills to do extra damage while it's active. Then we've got Counterattack. This skill is insane. I don't understand how they think this is balanced, but whatever, it's really good. So 40% passive dodge chance and automatically retaliate against close enemies, and we're going to be close to enemies most of the time because we're dashing into them. Then if you activate it, you're getting guaranteed dodges for 2 seconds from direct attacks. Then we've got Armored Hide. This is a passive that gives us 1 resolve every 5 seconds, but it also has an active that gives us 100% block chance for 3 seconds. And I'm only investing 1 point in this, so it's pretty nice. For our primary spirit, we've got Eagle. Eagle is going to give us even more feathers that are dropping, and it's going to do even more lightning damage. And I'm pretty sure when we evade, we're actually getting 6 stacks of this. I'm not 100% sure how this works, but I think that's accurate. Then for our secondary spirit, we've also got Eagle. And for this one, the more you move, the higher critical strike chance goes. We're already getting a lot of critical strikes, so this is just going to add on top of that. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to use this one, but there's not much else that really synergizes, so I'll have to see after I actually get my hands on it. So like I mentioned with the Concussive Stomp, we've got this here, which is called Reactive Armor. It increases our block chance, And when we block, we have a 60% chance to cast a free concussive stomp. That means that while we're dashing around and enemies are swinging at us, we're gonna have this cast automatically, and that's gonna help us keep our barrier up, but it's also knocking down nearby enemies, not to mention a little bit of extra damage. I went through most of these aspects before, but let's look at the ones I haven't gone through. So we've got moving dodge. This is probably a placeholder name, but this gives us a 30% dodge chance while we're moving, and the plan is to move all the time. So if we combine that with the 40% from counterattack, we've already got 70%. Other than that, right now I have Moonrise on here because the movement speed, attack speed, basic skill damage are all going to be useful to us, and it's possible that Sky Power might get swapped out for adaptability. The one thing the Spiritborn doesn't seem to have a lot of is ways to scale the damage on its abilities. So we'll have to see what aspects and what uniques we haven't seen yet. Pretty standard gem setup, more vulnerable damage, rubies, and diamonds. And then for the skill tree, I didn't put extra points into the skills yet because I know we're going to be getting some extra skill points with the expansion. So I don't know exactly how many we're getting, but I'll adjust this later based off of how much we get. So there will probably be points in Thunder Spike. We've got follow through. This is increasing the basic damage. There'll probably be more points in Vortex or Soar. We've got this nice little passive right here, which gives us 100% dodge chance while we're evading. And since we're evading all the time, this is really good. This is also going to give us extra critical strike chance. We've got more damage here, which is permanent because we're always going to be unstoppable from the Soar. We've got more damage here. Enemies are always going to be vulnerable. And since they're always vulnerable, we're going to take less damage too. And like I said, I went for minimum point investment in these other skills. They're just kind of there for the passive and the occasional active use, but I don't think they matter too much because the damage type won't synergize with the lightning damage from the rest of the build. Same thing for Armored Hide, just the 1 point. Then for Concussive Stomp, we're actually getting all 3 points because this here gives you an extra guaranteed dodge from enemies that you knock down. And we need the barrier for our extra damage from Vortex. Speaking of barrier, we've got an extra point here for a 10% barrier every 5 seconds that we don't take damage. So this is good for just kind of going into battle and having the barrier active. We've got 30% dodge chance here. We're not going to be standing still, so we won't get the second bonus from this, but 30% dodge chance seems pretty solid. I went ahead and maxed out the points on counterattack to get that extra dodge chance and extra retaliation damage. And I put the extra passive points in because I wanted the critical strike damage from this one. Then we've got this insane passive right here, 45% increased poison resistance, and your maximum poison resistance is increased by 15%. We're basically immune to poison damage on this character. And then for just 1 point investment, we're increasing our healing by 25%, which is pretty huge. Then we've got these passives over here. This is going to give us increased damage based on our movement speed, which is quite a bit of extra damage. And we're getting extra movement speed every time we cast an Eagle skill. And I'm not 100% sure, but I'm assuming that this gives us 45% movement speed every time we dash because we have 3 skills that we're casting at the same time. Then we've got our ultimate. I'm using the Seeker. The main reason I'm using this one is because of the short cooldown and the 2 charges. Scratch that, 3 charges. So this synergizes well with Resolution. This one gives us 15% increased damage or 30% increased damage if you're just fighting one enemy. So that means anytime we're fighting a boss, we're getting 30% more damage, and we can basically rotate these charges and have that up 100% of the time. And the extra points here give us a guaranteed critical strike on the second hit of this, as well as constantly making enemies vulnerable while they're inside this area. Finally, we have our Keystone passive, which is Vital Strikes. You deal 100% increased damage to vulnerable enemies, and after making an enemy vulnerable, your next direct damage dealt to them heals you, generates vigor, and then removes that vulnerable effect. But we're applying vulnerable all the time, so it doesn't really matter. Now, unfortunately, we don't have access to the Paragon boards, so I can't access this and theorycraft it yet. But once we get our hands on all of the extra details, any other aspects we might be missing, any uniques we might be missing, and the Paragon boards, this build is going to be very interesting. It's already extremely exciting to me, and I haven't even got to play with all the toys it has yet. But that's all I've got for this video. If you guys like this content, make sure you hit the like, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe. But on that note, I'll see you in my next video. Daddy Drew it out. Am I really in Korea? Who am I?